On the 16th of July 2022, I was lucky enough to be able to attend the largest airshow in the world, the Royal International Air Tattoo at Fairford. But one of the definite highlights of the day for me was to be able to go in this Canadian Air Force A310. So let's get into the video. But before we start, I'd like to say a massive thank you to the crew that were on board this aircraft. They were so kind, they gave me lots of free stuff, which you'll see at the end of the video. After queuing for about 5 minutes, we were then invited to board the aircraft. The aircraft seat configuration is a 242 that runs throughout the aircraft. There are also a few seats that have desks in front of them. This is probably used for work for people higher up in the Canadian government, including the Prime Minister, who usually flies this plane if he has to take a trip overseas. But at the back end of this year, after nearly 30 years in service, these trusty old A310s will be replaced by newer A330s. This comes as quite sad news, as the A310 is a truly brilliant aircraft. At the back of the aircraft, you will find a uniquely large area to keep things like food and make drinks, which you wouldn't normally find on a passenger aircraft. We then walked back up the aircraft to have a look in the cockpit. It came as no surprise to me to see that the cockpit was very dated, but us as spotters, we always like it that way. There's even still a seat for a technician, which most aircraft nowadays don't have. The aircraft also has 2 yokes instead of 2 sticks to guide the aircraft with, which is still fairly common, but is currently being phased out by Airbus. After a brief but very interesting tour of the cockpit, it was time to disembark the aircraft. The crew of the aircraft also gave us some free goodies and souvenirs, which I couldn't thank them enough for. They were so kind throughout the whole experience. They definitely represented the Canadian Air Force well. Thank you for watching today's video. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!